Hello, my name is John and I am a nerd that knits, and I would like to talk about why you should start knitting. So there are a bunch of reasons why people start knitting. Probably the main one is you get cool stuff. So you get to learn how to make really cool sweaters, shawls, socks, a lot of really cool things you can make when you learn how to knit. Personally, I started learning how to knit because I wanted to learn how to knit socks. I don't know where that came from, but I was like, it'd be cool to make some socks. And that was my motivation. I just want to make sweaters and socks, so that could have been like a jumping off point, but that's just my personal reason why I started knitting. Another thing that's really cool about knitting is that you're not pigeonholed to what you can find in retail or what you can find in a thrift store. I don't know how many times I've gone to certain places and be like, oh, this would be great if it was in a different color, in a different material, and this and that, or it's too big, or all of those details you can figure out when you're knitting it up. And you can rip it out if it doesn't meet your expectations. So you have a lot more control when it comes to your garment that you're making. Number two, it's a great stress reliever. So many studies, I'm not going to name them all because there's quite a bit, of what knitting does. And knitting, once you get into a rhythm, it's kind of like a song. There's a little bit of a click depending on what kind of needles you're using. But the thing about it is it just kind of calms your nerves, and it also gives you something to do with your hands. If you're someone who maybe you like to snack a little too much, this gives you something to do instead of eating. I like to make a lot of things while I'm watching TV, so it keeps my hands pretty busy. Some people like to play on their phone while they're watching TV. It's just another thing to keep you busy, and it's just, you get something out of your time. You get a cool garment, and also, relieve stress. Third, it gives you some pretty awesome skill set. If we ever have a zombie apocalypse, I'm just saying that anything does happen, you have the ability to make your own clothes, which is just totally cool. Number four, bragging rights. I like a good brag, and to say like, I made this sweater, like you're not going to find it at a store. Most people don't like comment on clothes. Sometimes you have to like throw it out there like, I made this. Another thing is like, a lot of people that knit do wear their garments out quite a bit. And especially when they go to yarn shops, or and be like, oh yeah, this is this pattern. It's so much fun. So number five, you meet cool people. The knitting community is so much more diverse and inclusive and just full of like very cool, fun, and modern ideas. More so than what people think. People just have this assumption that we are just a bunch of grandmas, and that's not the truth. People also kind of think that we just make baby booties and baby blankets. And while we do make baby booties and baby blankets, we also make baby cardigans that have skull and crossbones on it. And we also make hats that say F cancer. And we also have garments that we create political statements around, like the ever so popular pussycat hat. So there's a lot of things that knitting does and brings people into our hobby, into our culture, into our community. Another thing that's great about knitting is that it really helps solidify all the cultures together. So we have, knitting has been around for thousands and thousands of years. So this giant cultural kind of melting pot of what people in other parts of the world have done for knitting. And it's just a really cool thing. It's also, we have so many great designers out there, and it's not just, we have so many modern, fun, you know, designers, and they're just making the knitting world just kind of explode. Last thing I want to say is that for me, I feel that knitting is magic. It's magic. It is magic because you are taking a stick, basically a wooden stick, and you're taking some yarn, some string, and you're weaving it together and you get a sweater. And that's really what it boils down to. It's not something crazy. It's quite literally just the art of taking, you know, the string and making it into something. And that to me is like witchcraft. It is just the coolest thing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if that thing is neon pink or sparkly blue or like total black. It doesn't matter what it is. And it can not even have a purpose. It could be something completely whimsical and fun and something that just sparks a conversation. And I really hope that you give knitting a chance. I'm not gonna lie, there are some hurdles, and I will get to that in my follow-up video where I talk about what kind of sucks about learning how to knit. So please stay tuned.